Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Professor John Gotti, and welcome to Debate Amongst Friends. I represent the left side.
Wow. Strong side?
Left side.
Strong side.
Left side.
All right, that's enough before we get sued or something. Oh my God. This is Dr. Wednesday night. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, sir.
And better than ever.
Wow. You're batting 1,000 right now.
All right. I am the Aaron Judge of this group.
I'm just the umpire.
Oh my gosh. Don't say that. There's been so many issues with MLB referees in the past few seasons. I mean, it's been that way for a long time, but with each waning season, and as we head towards the third decade of the 2000s, they're just proving our points as to why we no longer need them in baseball.
I mean, it's getting to a point where some referees are literally just falling over players.
Well, it's not even the fact that they're falling over players that's the issue. The issue is
literally they're falling over
they
players.
allow their personal vendettas or their, agendas to become too forthcoming. It's too forthcoming.
I don't know if you saw literally the umpire fell over the player. I don't know if you saw that.
No, and I did see that, and while that's hilarious, I've also seen many clips where players get tossed out of games for just looking at a ref. Like, I thought I was watching Rasheed Wallace getting tossed.
But you ought to understand also that the same reason and the same way NBA refs are trying to still gain respect, MLB refs are just like, listen, I don't know what sport you think you're watching here, but this ain't no basketball. And you're not going to talk to me any way you want to. I'll toss you out of here. Look at me one more time.
It's not even that. If they were arguing a call for the sake of arguing a call, I will completely 100% agree with the umpire. But I would say 85% of that time, it's because the umpire blew a bad call. We're talking about, things that are way outside the hitter's box, and they're calling it a strikeout. Way inside, and they're calling that a ball. Like, you just know. And they didn't get a chance to allow the players to actually defend themselves. And even when this is where I see the skippers come out, MLB managers, for those that understand that term.
Sure.
And before they even get a chance to utter a word out there, they get tossed. I think there was one situation that I was watching where an umpire got upset because, the entire bench is telling him that he blew this call. And he got to the point where he stopped watching the game. And this is the home base umpire. So he has the most important job out of all of them. He's supposed to survey the whole field.
And now he's thinking about tossing everybody.
And he is looking at the dugout.
Thinking about who to toss. Absolutely.
No, he already had a target of who he wanted to toss the whole time. In fact, when he tossed the person, he didn't even know who he was. He didn't have a name. He didn't have a number. And when the manager came up to him to ask him what's going on, he was like, you right there, you're gone. Like,
listen, you won't ever hear me complaining about it.
That is ego.
Listen, and I think umpires are allowed to have that because they have the power. That's what I'm saying. NBA refs, NFL refs, they don't have the power. In the NFL, you can curse at a referee for 4 straight quarters and nothing will happen. NBA, you might get away with.
Wait, you said in the NFL you could do that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
John Gruden and these Bruce Arians, these guys, John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, all the Harbaughs. They curse these referees all up and down the field.
Oh, absolutely.
In the NBA, you might get away with
No.
2 quarters. 2
No.
quarters.
Now, see, that depends on the ref.
2 quarters. That depends on the
ref.
coach.
If it was Joey Crawford, he would not.
No, I think Joey Crawford allowed certain coaches to.
Joey Crawford tossed out Tim Duncan for laughing on the bench.
2 quarters. He was doing something. He was on something else that game. 2 quarters. But these umpires, they're like, listen, I'm the captain here.
But that's not supposed to be. That's not how the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way they're supposed to enforce the game.
But that's how it is. I mean, I wouldn't mind. See, baseball is a game.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. That's not the problem. Right. The problem is it's not how it's supposed to be.
I could see baseball being the first game to do away with officials.
I can agree with that, actually.
Because looking at the technology now and how it is, every pitch, every hit, they have these diagrams. They've got, even back in the day when they just added the fact that the miles per hour, speed on a pitch, that's pretty cool. So just looking at the technological advances as they are now, I mean, you probably could do away with an umpire or two, especially the one behind the plate. You might be able to do away with that one.
That's probably the most important one, actually.
Only thing about it is it'll have to be some fields that, of course, have to be redone, because you got those always, every game, you got these hits where players hit it down the foul line, and it's like it has to be instant, like, hey, fair or foul. And I mean, honestly, I can't say that people always get it right, but
no.
I mean, this is the way the game has been played forever. So
it's been played this way for over 100 years.
So, I mean, I don't know if they'll get rid of the referees, but I could see it being the first sport to try it.
I think they'll eventually start phasing out the umpires in small doses. Like, they'll probably start doing more, because they started doing case studies of this.
I'm sure.
It's not like they haven't started. Of course, while there are some conclusions, there are many naysayers that are saying it's inconclusive because they're trying to add different variables into the mix. Saying, trying to add the human element behind it because, of course, robots cannot emote.
Right.
But that's not a reason to look at the possibilities. We have the old guard still wanting to keep the game as pure as it can be. I mean, picture it like this. Some 20 some odd years ago, people looked at Moneyball, a concept that you were very high on,
I do like it, yeah.
as I don't like it. It's not the way it's supposed to be. But slowly but surely, many teams have adopted that very same philosophy. They're not exactly like Moneyball because Oakland really haven't won that much since then. But the fact that you're taking the risk and the chance to try something new that's, against the grain of what was, socially acceptable, it's huge when it comes to sports.
I agree.
We can say the same thing about your boy Mike D'Antoni and the 7-second or less system. Like, we haven't seen that at all in America. And now, the pace of play in the NBA is huge. But back to baseball real quick, though.
Sure. I think that, the game is changing, but also I think they're trying to still recover from the dark ages of steroids and PEDs and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And right now, I think the MLB is searching for the next, top 5, top 10 stars who are really going to carry them over to the future. The good thing about baseball is that these players can play for so long. So we might start seeing when the game changes over from these umpires to more technology-based, that it's a possibility that some of these guys may start to see a potential dip depending on the rule changes and the changes to the stadium, so on and so forth. So, I mean, it's definitely something to keep in mind as they go farther with this study that you're referring to.
Yes.
But in regards to the umpires, I mean, play on, player. Gosh. I mean, no matter what, you got to strut, right?
You got to strut.
I mean, I was just saying, I wouldn't go out there and tell them, not to toss a player just for looking at them. I can't tell them not to do that.
I mean, what was that referee said to Rasheed Wallace when he ejected him?
I don't know. I just
Oh,
remember.
oh
I
yeah,
remember Cam.
Black, you're gone. That's what he said.
Wow.
And then here
See,
comes Smitty running into her. He's like, "What'd he do? What'd he do?"
I
I
just
told him to
remember,
stop. I told him to
even
stop
in the
staring at me.
NFL,
He's trying to intimidate me. He's gone.
that's what I'm saying. Even in the NFL, when Cam Newton kept taking hits, and he said, "You're too young to get that call."
Yeah, see that right there. That was.
It's bush league, but I mean, and I'm sure the referee, quote unquote, didn't mean it, but I mean that's the way it came out. So I'm sure these umpires aren't like, don't look at me or you're gone, but they mean it though. They don't mean it, but they mean it.
Well, it's not even, and of course, we're isolating just the "don't look at me" concept. There's been many a times where an umpire tossed the player who just walked away from the situation, was
I
upset about the
mean,
call, gave him a look, like, okay, we both probably know it wasn't, the right call, but it's whatever, and then walked away, and the umpire still tossed him.
isn't
So
that don't you walk away when I'm talking to you?
he wasn't even talking to the player.
I mean, he must have said. I mean, the player must have said something
The
to
player
him.
didn't say
He was.
anything.
I mean, the player wouldn't have
They
to say
show
anything.
multiple. I'm telling you, there's for those that has YouTube, and I'm gonna recommend this person because he's incredible. He's also a Jersey boy. Of course, we have to recommend our fellow Jersey boys. His
You don't
YouTube
have to.
channel is John Boy Media, and he does coverages of when players get ejected or players altercations that happens during games. I really enjoy it. He's also a Yankees fan too, but he's not biased when the Yankees screw up either.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the things that he does is just amazing. So John Boy Media, check him out on YouTube. Help him. Also help us by subscribing to all of our stuff as well too. But I mean, he just shows a pure love for the game of baseball. And that pales in comparison to the other two sports we'll be talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, though, I mean, we're winding down the MLB season.
I can't believe we're talking about October and September.
I know.
Look at us. Look at us. We just had a whole conversation about baseball without October.
I mean, there's no crying in baseball, apparently.
None. Stewell, Angel, give mommy that chocolate.
Wow.
But I don't know. I mean, baseball's always been third, fourth on the list, outside of football, basketball. You got boxing, and then with the rise of MMA, which is just knocking baseball down for me. But I know we got some other things to talk about.
Absolutely.
And so much more when we come back. You're listening to Debate Amongst Friends on Anchor FM. Anchor FM is a free and easy to use platform where you can record, edit, and post your show right from your phone or computer, and it will be automatically distributed to platforms such as Apple and Google Podcasts. As seasoned podcast personalities, we found Anchor FM to be user-friendly and resourceful, allowing us to create great shows and sound bites on the go. Last but not least, Anchor FM gives you an opportunity to monetize your podcast as they link you with potential sponsors, and you can potentially start making money by recording advertisements just like this. Kickstart your podcasting journey today with Anchor FM by visiting their website at www.anchor.fm, and we look forward to hearing your podcast.
Welcome back. We're going to shift our attention away from the baseball diamond to the hardwood. We got some NBA offseason storylines to talk about. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the media has been so busy or bored, however you look at it, talking about all these off-season, quote-unquote, news that you would expect to us to discuss every single thing that they considered news. We're not. We're
definitely
and you're gonna have to get over it because at least 90% of the stuff that they covered is not news.
So let's just talk about 3 quick things that popped up on our list, and then we'll add in a bonus item. The first thing that continues to pop up is, where will Carmelo Anthony play next? You had Hoodie Melo, you got Jim Melo, you got Melo versus this player, Melo coaching that player. Melo has probably been to every open gym around the country.
That's disrespectful.
Will he get signed? Yay or nay, sir?
I love Melo. I've been on record on this very show defending Melo. Especially when my fellow Knickerbockers fans chanted, "Please trade Melo." And I was very upset with them.
I can understand that.
But unfortunately, and we keep talking about, certain NFL players being blacklisted, Carmelo Anthony has been blacklisted. No one's willing to admit it, but he's been blacklisted. It's a shame that he's been blacklisted. He shouldn't be blacklisted. He can still bring a lot to the table for a team, but Carmelo shouldn't be blacklisted, but he is, and it's a shame.
It is a shame.
And it stems from just his relationship with certain executives or certain coaches. We had a discussion about his relationship with Mike D'Antoni when he was with the Rockets. His last days with the Rockets, the way that he got cut or was told that he wasn't going to play anymore for the team.
It's pretty rough.
It becomes increasingly hard for someone with the scoring mentality that he has to fit in a team that is highly based off of passing. And the issue is, and we're going to pick on the media a lot in this segment.
That's okay.
The media has personified him as a certain caliber of player.
I mean, you can say it. I mean, they're calling him a ball hog.
Which is hilarious because he said that, and during not the last season when he was with the Knicks, the season where he was an MVP candidate, in fact, or borderline MVP candidate, he was distributing the ball like crazy. This concept that there are certain players in the league who are ball hogs and are only there for themselves is ridiculous.
I agree.
We've said that about so many different players, great players. The first thing that comes to mind when you hear a ball hog is Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely.
Kobe Bryant could pass the ball.
He could.
But Kobe knew that the rest of his teammates didn't want to shoot the ball. They was not hungry to win.
New York Knicks Carmelo felt the same way.
And New York Knicks Carmelo Anthony felt exactly the same way. But the personification that the media has portrayed of Carmelo Anthony is worse than the way that the media portrayed Kobe Bryant.
I can understand that, though, because it was the Black Mamba.
Because it was exactly.
Yeah, he's a Black Mamba. I mean, Kobe's good. He's, definitely top 5, top 10, all time. He's one of the greatest.
Let's be
we're not going to go there.
Extra careful because we know those LeBron maniacs. They hear these things, and I mean, that pissant who's worse than Stephen A. Smith, Ryan Hollins, said that Kobe couldn't tie LeBron's shoes.
Kobe could tie LeBron's shoes. He could probably put them in some kind of bronzer or gold. He can probably do a lot with those shoes, but
Kobe doesn't need to do anything to LeBron's shoes. LeBron should be thankful that Kobe give him a little piece of plastic off the tip ends of his shoelaces.
I agree. But Carmelo is no Kobe. I mean, LeBron's no Kobe either, but Carmelo's no Kobe.
No.
I always said that anywhere inside of the arc, Kobe, I felt like was money.
Yes.
I just felt like Kobe was money. And don't get me wrong, Carmelo has a great game, but I think what happened with Carmelo is kind of similar to what happened with like, Zach Randolph and a few other guys similar to that. Like they haven't evolved their game
Yes.
to a different level.
So it's like, I would even say even better too that the game has moved away from that style of play.
Right. I mean, the pure post scorer, the fadeaways, the contested jumpers, like it's tough.
The bully ball mentality.
Don't get me wrong, I love it.
No one's talking about Mr. James now getting into the post anymore, are they?
I mean, I don't know, but we're not going to go there right now because that might carry us over for 30 minutes.
No.
Right now, we're talking about Carmelo, who is being blackballed, and apparently his reps are trying to change his perception, but it's going to be hard to change the perception when everybody's saying the same thing. Only place that he's going to be able to go to right now, quote unquote, this is where the media speculation comes in, is Lakers or the Nets.
And that's a shame.
And that's it.
Because now, everyone is now saying, oh, well, LeBron should get Melo to come play with the Lakers. The Lakers, with what money?
Well, I mean, vet minimum contracts kind of like you get to like just kind of go over the cap for those. So I don't think Carmelo's getting any money.
I don't know how much of it. I don't know how much of that they've used though.
He's getting a vet minimum. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. I hate to say it because he's such a great player, but
absolutely. He's gonna have to take that low of money. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And the next person who's also been dominating headlines, who also is going to get potentially a vet minimum, Joe Johnson of the Big Three has also dominated the headlines. I mean, dominated the headlines. Should he sign with Brooklyn, the Pistons, the Nets? Oh my God, we all want 38-year-old Joe Johnson to join our team.
ISO Joe.
ISO Joe, which the name alone should make you be like, ooh, ISO Joe. That sounds ball hoggish to me.
But do you know why they're now talking about Joe Johnson making a reappearance back in the NBA?
Because he's dominating the Big Three.
Because he is the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of this past year's Big Three. You like what I did there?
That was perfect, actually. I mean, but Joe Johnson, when he left the NBA, he was at the Rockets.
Yes.
I thought he was still good.
He could still bring
defense.
a lot to the table. But once again, I believe the reason why he didn't want to come back was more because of how many minutes he was getting.
True.
But the problem was his minutes, and I'm looking at his career right now, has been diminishing since 2015-2016 season.
I can understand that.
Where he went from 32 minutes a game to his last year with the Doc's Houston Rockets, 22 minutes a game.
Oh, I thought it was going to be 12 minutes because I really didn't remember seeing him like that.
Well, and of course you're spreading it out throughout,
I got you.
The season, and I mean, there's probably some games that he has a lot of inactives. So
first of all, can we just stop right now and just go over some of his nicknames right here that just comes up on Wikipedia because it's hilarious. Joey J, ISO Joe, Joe Cool, Joey JoJo, Junior, and Joe Jesus.
Oh, there's two more.
Okay,
Big Shot Joe and
Big Shot
Armadillo Cowboy.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. That's great. That is so great. But I mean, I think that Joe Johnson, this is one of those players that he'll come back, he'll help a team. I mean, I think 20 minutes a game for a veteran who can still flat out ball, I say, why not? Now, the one thing I will say, and this is something that isn't covered in the media, but I'm throwing it out there, Amari Stoudemire looks pretty good still, too.
Okay. let's stop right here. Let's stop right here because I need to say something, and you're gonna agree with me when I say this. I need to say this right now for everyone who keeps thinking that people who don't play in the NBA anymore are washed or they're trash or they can't play anymore. They can still ball.
I mean, he looks way healthier than he did in the NBA. Like, he looks really good.
A lot of these players can still come back into the league and ball. The only difference is they don't want to play an 82-game season.
I can understand that.
Doing 3 games in 4 nights. They don't want to have to deal with that anymore. And I understand that. See, that's the thing that people keep thinking about the Big Three. It's like, oh, it's a washed-up league because it's all, washed-up players. No, there are people sitting there still balling. Okay, the aforementioned Joe Johnson, his team won the Big Three championship, which is the other reason why people wanted to try to get him on, Doc. Just for clarity, for you to understand it full circle. Like, I'm pretty sure because last year's Big Three champion and MVP, Corey Maggette, he didn't get any of those calls.
Right. But now this year
it's because
different. They got some really good talent.
But it's because of, the appeal.
Right.
You hear the name Corey Maggette for, non-basketball aficionados. They're going to be like, who the heck is Corey Maggette?
No, yeah, we know Corey Maggette. I just know Corey Maggette. He's no ISO Joe.
Yeah, but Corey Maggette can still ball.
I mean, he can ball, but I don't
everyone in the Big Three can still ball.
I agree. I don't think he can. I think 1-on-1, Joe takes him 9 times out of 10.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just not buying it. Now, the last thing that dominated the media is Boogie Cousins.
Oh, boy.
Boogie Cousins. Read this headline. DeMarcus Cousins got injured and married within 2 weeks.
Yep.
And the media was all over it.
Yep.
And not only did he get injured and married in 2 weeks, but within that 3rd week, he also got either arrested or served a warrant.
He got served a warrant.
And that's so crazy.
He got served a warrant.
Threatening a ex-girlfriend? Bro, come on.
Here's the first thing I have to say. And it may sound callous, but I'm going to say it. Welcome to LA, Boogie.
Welcome to LA. He's done. He might be done.
We've said that at the end of the season. We're like, it's probably better for him to just recover, take a year off, and then let's see if he could come back.
He might have just lost his spot to Amari Stoudemire.
Wow. I'm not even going to talk about that. Like, I believe they said they actually brought in Dwight Howard, actually.
That's right. They did.
Yes.
Dwight Howard returns.
Yes. Your boy, Dwight Howard.
Goodness. Yikes.
Yes. Yes.
And this says here, Lakers signed Dwight Howard because Anthony Davis does not want to play center.
Of course he doesn't want to. Okay, so other thing, we got to clarify for everyone out there, just so y'all can understand. There is no more center positions in the NBA.
Agreed.
0. We have guards and we have forwards. There is no centers left out there. Okay,
I mean, it's gonna be pretty
the
impressive.
true definition of a center does not exist anymore. Because centers nowadays are like 6'9", 6'10".
Absolutely. I mean, I will say this. I will say with the signing of Dwight Howard, if he can even give them 40% of what he used to give, they'll be pretty decent this year. That he kind of pushes them up a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Not so much because of LeBron. I don't want to go that route. But I think Dwight gives them somebody that can really focus on rebounding, defense, and knows in this particular system he is not, nor will he ever be the number 1 guy. Might not even be number 3 at this point.
Yeah, the Lakers don't have any money, bro.
They
I'm
still got
looking at their they have no
Kuzma.
money.
Yeah, so he might not get any passes in the block, like
Yeah.
none.
No.
He must
No, zero.
clear out
Yeah.
and fight for offensive rebounds. He's officially become like a Udonis Haslam or something.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well accept that.
Yeah.
But as far as Boogie Cousins goes, I agree with you. I think he might be done.
Well, once again, I'm not
He's,
saying that he's
I think,
if he was to take a year or two off and then come back and we can see, and then he still played the way that he played during these finals, then yes, he's done. But the fact that he's going from year to year like this, it doesn't
injury
paint
to
a pretty
injury,
picture right now.
injury to injury too.
Injury to injury, chasing dreams to chasing dreams again.
Because this isn't like like a Brandon Roy kind of story. Like this
No.
is like, listen, guy, you need to sit down. You're a big guy. You need to sit down, heal, and try it later on. I mean, we saw what happened with Greg Oden, and Greg Oden was really, really talented.
Very, very talented. I was very high on him coming out of Ohio State.
I think him and Roy Hibbert's battles in college were so epic. And I was looking
Yes.
forward to that in the NBA. And I mean, unfortunately, both of them are out of the NBA. But I mean, I don't know.
Poor Roy Hibbert.
I just think he lost too much weight.
I think he just lost confidence. And then once that confidence waned, it was that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
But the last thing for the NBA, obviously, right now we are in the U.S. I guess the Olympics. What is this right now? Is this like
this is
a
FIFA
mini
World Cup.
tournament?
FIFA World Cup.
FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
Let me just go over the roster really quickly, starting with your boy, number 8.
Sorry, FIBA World Cup, not FIFA. FIBA.
Oh, I knew what you meant. I hope that people know what you meant too. Your boy, number 8, Harrison Barnes. Number 9.
Don't you dare try to slide that in. Don't you do that to me, man.
Oh my God. Number 9, Jaylen Brown, Joe Harris, Brooke Lopez, who had a great season last season.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Middleton, Spida, Donovan Mitchell. Mason Plumlee is kind of a shocker to me, but digress. Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, who you mentioned to me earlier, and I think I read he might have had an ankle injury.
Yep, at the end of their last game,
which is pretty sad because I know he's a growing star.
Turkey.
Growing star who has a new growing beard, which is pretty awesome. Miles Turner,
yep,
Kemba Walker, and Derek White.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, of course, Coach Popovich as the head coach, Steve Kerr as the assistant, and Lloyd Pierce as also another assistant. Who else you got here? You got Jay Wright, Jason Ball. You got actually some pretty good talent there. It's pretty awesome.
Like, it goes back to what I keep saying. Like, we keep acting like these players are, really, really bad. Like, any of these players who play in the NBA are really, really good. The only difference is there's a percentage of those players that are extremely good.
You know what's so funny? And then we can, we'll end the segment, but you know what's hilarious is that I think people are only surprised how good even somebody who's at the end of the bench is when you see those videos on Bleacher Report about them dominating like a Drew League or showing up at a gym and JR is just pulling up threes on you or
playing in international basketball and is suddenly looking like the second coming of Stephon Marbury. Jimmer Fredette.
I think Dennis Smith Jr. just dropped 50 in a wreck the other day.
I'm just saying, like, we keep acting like, some of these players are trash because either they don't get any burn or, they average like 6 points a game.
Right.
Like, stop disrespecting these NBA players. We say the same thing about NFL players too. But I'm pretty sure no one would say that in their faces, though.
Right. Not happening.
They would. No. Are you freaking insane? No. Stop.
Absolutely. But that wraps up our NBA talk, and we'll be right back after this message.
Welcome back. We're going to transition from the hardwood to the gridiron. Let's talk some football.
I'm so glad football's back. I mean, I've missed it. I think we haven't really had the greatest off season, but I've missed it so much, and I'm glad we're finally going to get a chance to get away from the drama, really, of the off season.
I still blame the media for that too, because once again, we are living in a TMZ world when it comes to media coverage in the world of sports. That things that are highly interesting for us to really talk about isn't really discussed, and things that are hot topic, hot takes, headlines. I mean, we're talking about one player from the feet up to the crown of the head.
Right.
Like, he decided to, leave a team, go to a rival team, and then talk smack.
And that's all. That's unbelievable. That, I mean, for a whole 2 to 3 weeks, Antonio Tavares Brown
You can put his
Sr.
government out there?
We talked about Antonio Brown for about 2 to 3 weeks. We didn't talk about the Patriots or, we didn't talk about, anybody else. We just talked about Antonio Brown. I mean, it started out with, obviously the Raiders made it to Hard Knocks, which was awesome. I feel like they have a media storm over there because you got Mike Mayock as your GM. You got John Gruden as your head coach.
Yep.
Now you got this star wide receiver coming in, after a horrible, horrible, ugly divorce with his previous team. And then to top it off, this guy gets what? Frostbite on his feet to the point where they had to get some kind of therapy and remove the dead skin from his feet. I mean, it was horrible when they showed it on. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I can't say it's not like I haven't seen anything like that before. But to talk about this guy's feet for a week and a half.
Yep.
And then add another week and say this guy wants to play in a helmet, go through a fight with the NFL. Then the next week after that, fight an appeal. And then I think a second appeal when he found another helmet that might be good, but he might have changed some parts to it. I mean, let's just say that lawyer is just sitting back and just having a good old time.
Of course he is.
That lawyer's having a great time. But, I mean, I'm glad Antonio Brown saga's over. I mean, we're getting into the NFL season where later on we'll give our predictions. But I'm glad we're getting into more stories. And the first story that really came out shocked the entire world, really.
Shocked everyone.
The retirement of Andrew Austin Luck.
I mean, let me tell you, son, I understand why he did what he did. Yeah. I get it. I'm not upset that he did it. Was I shocked? Absolutely. Was I as surprised as many other people? No. And here's why. Andrew Luck finally got a good offensive line last year.
Very true.
And it still wasn't enough to help keep him off the shelf.
True.
And after about 5 years of going in and out of injuries and not being able to play the sport that he loves, with the franchise and a front office that, at the beginning was trying to one up their other franchise quarterback that they, traded away.
Right.
Found, lightning in the bottle for one season. And
True.
Decided to just do some real boneheaded moves and not, surround Luck with a great O-line to protect him.
For years.
He's been hurt time and time again.
For years.
And it didn't impact him just physically, but it also impacted him mentally. Like, people don't understand that football, and Doc will back me up on this, it's just as much of a mental game than it is a physical game. And if you can't
Absolutely.
mentally go, if you have all these, and I don't want to use the word demons because we use demons in different aspects when it comes to, players' psyches. But, if you have all these doubts heading onto the field because you don't know what's going to happen, because you can't really depend on, these guys who are getting paid so much money to make sure that you don't get hurt.
Right.
Why are you still playing the game?
Agreed. And I think a lot of people are starting to say the same thing about the likes of like Trent Williams from Washington. He's like, listen, I don't know what's going on here in Washington, but if they don't get it together, people are saying that he could threaten to retire just to get out of Washington. I mean, look what happened to Calvin.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin freaking Johnson. He's been out the league how long? I forgot his name already.
I was like,
wait,
years. You
like,
really
dang,
forget
Calvin.
Megatron?
I was like, no, not Calvin Ridley.
No.
Calvin Jones. Who the heck is Calvin Jones? I didn't know.
No, he hasn't been in the league since 2015, so that's 4 years. Heading 4 years, 5.
Yeah. And his retirement was shocking, but again, probably tired of losing, didn't want to go through that stigma of saying, oh, you ran away. And this is what Andrew Luck got.
I'm sorry, I'm going to save that for a final thought. Let's keep going. I just saw something that...
Oh my goodness! I thought you weren't recording or something. I was like, oh my god, he never hit the button.
Yeah. No. We're live. We're live.
Okay. I was like, yikes,
I got feeds coming in. We're back. So my eyes are both on the recording and it's on the phone, the computer screens. It's all over the place.
Absolutely. But at 29 years old, I mean, I don't blame Andrew Luck for wanting to get in. It's not like he's a dumb kid. I mean,
no.
He's smart. He went to, freaking Stanford. I'm sure he's got a degree in something crazy. And he could probably always come back and coach if he wanted to. I mean, heck, he could always come back and play. Maybe he just needed a year or two off.
I think if he's going to come back and play, he shouldn't play with the Colts.
See, that's where it's going to get tough because, I mean, ultimately they're going to hold his rights. And I mean, if he comes back and says, hey, I don't want to play for the Colts, I mean, who knows? Maybe he was really looking forward to a head coach who just so happened to go back to New England. Maybe he wants to take over for Tommy Brady. You never know. That would be crazy.
I mean, that would be that would be just complete genius by the Patriots. Yeah. And no one's going to like it, but I'll sit back and laugh because that's just that would be brilliant.
Like if that's what they wanted, like maybe he wanted to play under Josh McDaniels, because you think about it, Josh McDaniels has the ball out of the quarterback's hands really fast.
Yep.
And who cares if you have an offensive line if you get the ball out that fast?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully, we wish the best for Andrew Luck, and hopefully he won't dominate the news waves like the next person I'm going to mention here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wish somebody would please pay this man, and that's right. I'm talking about Ezekiel.
That name freaking sucks.
Zeke Elliott, who is in Cabo, I guess, coming home to Dallas.
He's coming home to Cabo. Once again, why do we care about that? Why do we care about that? Why is that news?
The rap sheet has to cover that.
That's stupid.
Ian Rappaport has to cover that. He's coming back from Cabo. Come on, bro.
That's stupid, though. All we need to know is whether or not the negotiation for the new contract has been making any headways. I don't care about his vacation in Cabo.
I think Ian Rappaport's trying to give Cowboy fans and as well as some fantasy owners a little bit of insight on what's going on, because the fantasy owners they like the rap sheet. They want to hear stuff like that. That's what's going to get people to keep tuning in because that's the information that's going to tell you whether to start them or sit them. Because that's what sports has become. It's become more about fantasy than the actual sport.
That I can agree with. And I'm actually looking at this one article from Pro Football Talk. Of course, this is NBC, so I don't know how dependable it is.
Mm-hmm.
But they were saying that Mr. Elliott and Mr. Jones are close to terms for a 6-year, $90 million extension that'll tie Zeke to the Cowboys for the next 8 years.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes.
That is so crazy.
If the Cowboys really pull this trigger and give him that much money for that many years, I'm just going to laugh.
But I mean, people be happy as long as he's performing.
This is a prediction. This is a Gotti's read. By year 3, he will be out.
By 27?
Yes. Not like out of the league, but he'll be out as in injury-wise.
I got you. It depends on it. I mean, again, it just depends.
I mean, they don't have that same line.
They don't. I mean,
they don't have that. They don't have that line that Trent Richardson can run behind and get 1,000 yards in a season.
I still think Trent Richardson can run behind this line, but I think most of those guys are back. If I'm not mistaken, from what I heard, I believe a lot of them are back.
It's hard to believe what we've been hearing, though.
I mean, people keep asking if they're back, and I'm thinking that they're back.
I don't think they're back.
But lastly, with the NFL, the Seahawks continue to steal players. I don't even know how they do this, but Pete Carroll must have like a genie in a bottle somewhere.
I mean, yeah. Pete Carroll is learning from the tutelage of your boy, Daryl Morey.
I don't know what he's doing, but to get Jadeveon Clowney for what they gave up, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
And this is after trading Frank Clark last season or in the off season, in acquiring a first and second pick and, using that to get Clowney as well. I mean, it's amazing. That's amazing. I was surprised. And I immediately, text some of my people here who are Bucs fans. And I said, we could have done this.
Yes.
Anybody could have did this. I mean, I think somebody posted up a picture of them trying to do this trade in Madden. In Madden, you could even probably turn trades off and the trade wouldn't go through.
Yes.
This is ridiculous. But, I mean, I give it up to Seattle. I mean, hopefully Clowney lives up to the hype. I feel like when players go to Seattle,
he already started to, but I mean, how many years has Clowney been in the league?
Jadeveon Clowney has been in the league. I know he came in after J.J. Watt. Right now,
he's going into his 6th season.
How many? What'd you say?
He's going into this will be his 6th season.
Yeah, he's only 26 years old, so he's still pretty young. He's not.
And he's only not played
high. Yeah, he's not a super
games.
High sack guy.
He's going to get a lot more sacks.
He most likely will. He's not a super high sack guy because I think he keeps getting hurt. So, like the last 2 years, he'd be getting 9.5.
Yep.
But you're also playing on the other side of J.J. Watt. How many of those sacks was really J.J. Watt? I wonder.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to go to a team with, scrubs on the defense.
True.
Like,
that's true. I can't say that. I can't even say that.
Like, we acting like, J.J. Watt's the end-all and be-all.
I mean, he kind of is in Houston.
I don't. I'm not gonna go there.
I mean, Houston.
I'm not going there at all. I'm gonna let you hold on to that one. That was Doc who said that.
Yeah, I mean, Houston, he kind of is. I mean, they're okay without him, but I mean, with him.
Yeah.
I think J.J. Watt is what the Bears expected with Khalil Mack.
I mean, he's going to be running with Bobby Wagner, K.J. Wright, Shaquille Griffin. I mean,
I'm talking about on the line, though. I mean, that line, though. I mean, That's where their defensive line is okay. Hopefully he makes them better. That's all I can
Yeah.
really say.
They got Ziggy Ansah,
Well, I
Michael
think
Kendricks.
now my question. I think Ziggy Ansah was included in the trade, if I'm not mistaken.
They still have one on the depth chart.
We might have to
I'm
fact
looking on
check that.
Seahawks.com. So if Seahawks.com is wrong, then Doc and Prof is always right.
He might be still in there. I know that they traded away someone. I thought it was him, but if they didn't, then that's outstanding.
Hold on. I'm about to see everything with that trade.
Yeah, because I was trying to pull it up. I didn't want to click anything, and then some mysterious commercial or something played in the background because that happens very often. That's why I was like, let me look it up on my phone because I don't want anything crazy to happen. Let's see. Let's take a quick look here.
Yep, they kept Ansah.
They kept Anza. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's fantastic. So they do have two good pass rushers. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they might be meeting at the quarterback.
Yeah. So
That's going to be interesting.
He's an idiot.
That's going to be interesting. I'll meet you at the quarterback, bro.
Oh,
all right, bro.
No. I can't believe they really did. Wow.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the fact that like I didn't know the full details until I looked at it, and I'm just like, and this is their depth chart? Are you serious?
Yeah,
and this is the NFC West.
Right, exactly. But let's jump into some predictions, man. I mean, we got some games. We got one game on Thursday that's going to kick off the season. Let's get some predictions going here.
Let's do it.
First game up, the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears.
Let's see
who you got.
I'm going to choose. He's a bad man, but that's a bad defense. I'm going with the Bears.
I'm actually going with the Bears as well. I think that this new offense with the Packers, I think it's still kind of fine-tuning.
Yes, it's going to take like a few weeks for them to click.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears. Next game, we have the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Yikes.
Yeah, you already know who's going to win this one. Let's just move on.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on who you're picking.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay, I'm picking the Chiefs too. Oh my God.
I'm like, what, are you crazy? I mean, here's the thing. If you're trying to bet in Vegas, that game would be the perfect bet for you.
True.
Because everyone's going to put their money on the Chiefs.
I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, don't get me wrong.
And we're talking.
I think they've upgraded at quarterback. I mean, we'll just start right there. I feel like Nick Foles is
upgraded their quarterback with Nick Foles.
Yes. Oh my God. Blake Bortles was TAS.
No. Wait. He doesn't even get the funny version. He was TRASH. He doesn't even get the meme.
I mean, I think they've upgraded. Their line looks good. I think if Leonard Fournette can stay healthy, I think they might have something. If Nick Foles plays the same way that he did in Philly, but I don't know if he's going to play that way because Philly had a specific designed offense that really worked.
See, and that's the magic of sports, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when a player goes to a different team, we can't just assume he's going to have the same production.
All right, let's look around here. Let's not go through all of these here.
No, we could go through some, high stake ones.
Let's go with Eagles versus Redskins.
Seriously?
I mean, they got a rookie quarterback playing for the Redskins. I mean, I think it's going to be awesome.
Huh? Eagles.
Are you?
Yes.
You never know.
It's a rookie quarterback.
He might do. Haskins might do very, very well.
I just hope Haskins survive half the season.
Understand. New England Patriots versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Patriots.
Sunday night.
Patriots. Come on.
I don't know.
Come
know.
on.
The Steelers
It's a home game.
It is a home game.
And they're celebrating their Super Bowl. No, they're winning. Stop it.
Always a fun matchup. The Cowboys versus the Giants.
I don't care.
Yeah, come on.
I will say this.
Uh-oh.
If Zeke actually plays, I'll say the Cowboys. Because that first game, he's gonna carry the ball at least 30 plus times.
Is he in shape? I mean, I know they're saying that he's been working out, but I mean,
they're gonna try to give him the ball. They were like, "We paid you all this money, now go out there and run the freaking ball."
I'm not sure.
This is Jerry Jones we're talking about here.
I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna stick with the Giants. I think the Giants might. Actually, you know what? I'm going with the Cowboys because I just don't think the Giants have done enough in the offseason to even remotely become a better team. Like I feel like everything that they did was to make their team worse.
I felt like the only thing people kept talking about was Daniel Jones from hate to love.
Absolutely.
And it's going to turn into a Tebow situation with the Jets when he joined the Jets.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be more.
The crowd's going to be demanding for Daniel Jones. If Eli throws a bad pass, they're going to be chanting for Daniel Jones. If Eli throws a pick, they'll be called for Daniel. Like, no. That's why I said I don't care about this game.
But then again, that's exactly how Eli got introduced. So, I mean, it's the same way. It's the same thing. That's just New York. That's New York.
Unfortunately.
Because Eli was on the bench, and then the starting quarterback threw interceptions, and they were like, put Eli in. I mean, that's just how New York is. I mean, Porzingis, put him in.
Yeah, but he was a starter, though. He didn't start off the bench.
Listen, take him out so you can put him in.
Wow. Three other games.
Last game
Titans versus the Browns.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was gonna go. I mean, the Browns are they should win. I hate to go against the Duke's Titans, but
I'm going against the Duke Titans. I mean, I have the Browns winning the AFC North this year.
They should.
And they should. The problem is, will they? Once again,
you have them winning, so
I have them winning it.
And you got the Reeds.
Sometimes.
I mean, we'll see.
It was that one. It was that one playoff that I was on fire.
This is true. I mean, the only other games that, to me, I'm going to be watching, of course, is
your 49ers or it's your Bucks. Who you got?
No, I wasn't going to go there. I mean, of course, I'm going to go with Tampa because I'm biased, of course. But I'm really going to be paying close attention to the Rams and Panthers.
That's going to be a good game.
I don't know, and I hate to be that guy, but I really need, and I'm slightly betting against Cam staying healthy all season because
there's something wrong with that though because he has that issue now.
Right now, I don't have a backup quarterback on one of my fantasy teams, and Will Grier is Cam's backup. So it would be great if just for week 9, Cam didn't play.
I saw what you did there. That's what
just saying. But those are some of the games that we were looking into. I mean, obviously, if there are any games that you're looking forward to, feel free to leave us a message. Always, of course, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that Debate Amongst Friends. I'm sure you can find us.
Absolutely.
Easily.
And also send us a message on Anchor as well, too. We actually have a messaging system on Anchor.
If that's what you're listening to right now, and you heard that message earlier, you're listening to Anchor. If you want to start your own podcast, what better way to do it than Anchor?
Absolutely.
But we will come back with our final thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of every show, we're going to hit you with a 2-minute warning just to go over some quick subjects that we didn't cover during the show. My first one here, LaShawn McCoy gets released by the Buffalo Bills and immediately signs with the Kansas City Chiefs.
And for me, my first one is breaking news. AEW World Champion Chris Jericho, aka Y2J, brand new championship has been stolen. Police confirmed this, and Bleacher Report has broke the news. It is crazy.
Back here to me, the Houston Rockets are re-upping on their team as they have signed and extended Eric Gordon and Nene for the upcoming season. Eric Gordon gets 3 years, $54 million.
And finally, Filipino champ, aka Ryan Ramirez of the fighting game community in esports, has announced that he is no longer playing Street Fighter V. He is the villain we all love in the Marvel vs. series. He decided to drop the controller when it comes to Street Fighter V. He actually stated that if he finds another game that is much better than Street Fighter V, he will play it. And that's all we have, folks. That was our 2-minute drill. We're going to try to provide you more, get ourselves much better as we come along. Once again, you can catch us on all of our social media at Debate Amongst Friends. You can follow us on Anchor as well, too, anchor.com. Anchor.fm/Debate Amongst Friends. Our social media at Debate Amongst Fra on Twitter. Facebook page at Debate Amongst Friends. You can follow Doc Lesnar at TL Double on Twitter and on Instagram. Myself at Professor John Gotti on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you very much. And this is the Professor John Gotti.
This is Dr. Wednesday Night.
And for the first time in season 4, goodbye. Mwah. And to all, a good night.